welcome back to another video. My name is Max and today we're picking up where we left off with that sketchbook ideas video that I did a couple weeks ago. If you've not seen it, it doesn't matter, there's no like plot points you're gonna miss out on, but normally I do 5 and in that one I only did 4 because the 5th one was gonna take way longer than I thought, and I said in that video I'll just make a separate video about just the 5th one. So that's what we're doing today. It's gonna be more of like a draw with me type video than a sketchbook ideas video, because obviously it's only one idea. And that idea is to make like a lyrics page book thing. I've seen loads of people making like lyric books and they're kind of like interactive pages that have words of songs on and you like flip stuff and pull stuff and it's really cool. I'm gonna do one of those on just one page of my sketchbook. I guess it can kind of be a tutorial on how to do it. I'm not particularly experienced at this. This is the first one I've done, so like, I'm not an expert, so take whatever I say with a pinch of salt. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's begin.
So, the song that we are going to be using for inspiration for this lyrics page is Nymphology by Melanie Martinez. And it has profanities in it, so if you don't like profanities, then, I don't know, maybe don't watch this, like I censor it, but I don't know. And I chose this song because it's got some nice imagery. I mean, the whole Portals album is just full of crazy imagery that's really fun and artistic. And I've done quite a few Melanie Martinez kind of like quote-unquote fan art, I guess, recently, even though the album came out ages ago. But it's just like my artistic style embodied in a music genre, so that's why I like it so much. So the way that this works, I don't think I explained it very well in the intro, but you illustrate kind of visual representations of the lyrics and then you incorporate them into mechanisms that make it more interesting, basically. So it's like an interactive thing. For example, the one I'm working on here, first 2 words, it's nymphology. So I'm gonna partially stick down the it's and then have nymphology like concertinaed underneath it. So you pull it out and it's like, it comes out as like, you're meant to kind of listen to the song while you do it. And I don't know, it might be really lame to some people. I just think it's cool. This specific mechanism actually ended up not working that well because like the pulling it out bit's fine, but then putting it back in again, because it's meant to be like a reusable thing, I just kind of had to squash it in instead of folding it, because obviously you can't lift up the flap and refold it because it's stuck down. I use lots of different kinds of pens and paints for this project. I mainly used kind of alcohol-based markers, so Sharpies and like alcohol markers, but I also used black paint, and I think I used colour pencils at some point as well. I think the way that most people do this is they make like a little book for a portion of the song, like a longer portion, but I just wanted to do like a quicker version, quote unquote. This took forever, so I'm just doing one large double page spread, and it's like the chorus, I think, or the majority of the chorus. There you can see me trying to figure out the concertina thing, and it's all seemed like it was going to work. You can see the mechanism there, you hold it down and you pull it out. But it didn't. Quick disclaimer, I just listened back to some of the voiceover and I sound really weird because I have a cold and I didn't realize how congested I sound. But yeah, that's why I sound like I'm a completely different person. So after however long that bit took me, I started working on the next bit, which is the next 2 words, not psychology. So I drew like a brain, you know, when you see like depictions of psychology, there's the brain and it's all coloured in with the different areas that do the different bits. And I cut that out and I stuck it to another flap so that the mechanism kind of works. So you have the bit that says not, and then you lift it up and fold it over, and underneath it says psychology. So I used Sharpies to colour in the different parts of the brain because I wanted nice sort of bold, vibrant colours. This project provided me with like a really good opportunity to use my Sharpies and my alcohol markers, because I never use them ever, because most of the art I do is in my sketchbook, and obviously like they bleed a lot, so I didn't want to ruin the stuff that would be on the other side of the page. Here I am gluing, so maybe you can kind of visualize what it looks like a bit better now. With the knot, it was just a big red X on a black background. It was nice and simple. Still took me forever because I was watching something and I was kind of semi-distracted. That's the main reason why this took so long. On the other side of the spread, I wasn't watching anything and I got it done in like an hour, whereas the first half took me maybe like 3 or 4. I started off by using Sharpies to do the background black, but then later in the video I ended up just using paint because it was quicker and easier and it didn't waste as much ink. I mean, I talk about wasting ink, but like I never use them anyway, so. Turning it over, I did use paint here though to cover up that bit because if I used the Sharpie it would have bled through to the red bit and ruined it. Right, here's the next bit. So after having like 4 words take up most of the space, like we've got a whole like verse going on here that's taken up by like a third of the space. So the lyrics here are "Be the manic pixie dream girl," and then you like lift up the bottom bit and it works like you kind of tear off the wings, so you pull up, it's half a flap, so you pull up the body in the middle and then underneath it's black with like red kind of dripping out under it, so it looks like you've ripped the wings off. So here I'm just like finalizing all the stuff, sticking it down before I continue. This was the point where like the previous footage was when I still thought I'd include it in the sketchbook video, but then this was just me finishing off last week. And I got the Sharpies out again. The colour was slightly wrong here. I wanted to do like the light pink that her skin is, but I for some reason, I have that colour, I just for some reason didn't use it. And I really liked colouring this bit actually, because it was the more kind of detailed part of the like design. This portion of the voiceover is recorded like 2 days later, 3 days later. I no longer have a cold, so hopefully I'll be a bit more coherent in my speech. This is a very chaotic video. I'm really not expecting it to get many views because my last couple of videos have done really craply for some reason. Like the last one got 9 right now, and the one before it got 17, and then the one before that got 74, which like is a lot like based on the channel average. But it was the surrealist one, and the first one of those got over 200, so I was a bit surprised at that. I think the algorithm just hates me at the moment. Anyway, as you can see, I'm creating the bloody drippy bit that I did earlier, just like painting around all of the main design black, and then making the flap red with a black background. In the end, when everything was stuck down, looking at it without context, it just looks so sort of random and a bit stupid, because it's just kind of little drawings that don't relate to each other with random words written on them. And because I painted them all with the black, they just kind of were floating there, and they didn't really look very cohesive. Hopefully now I've done this bit, you kind of get what I meant by how it flaps up. I was very ill when I was describing that bit, so it didn't make a lot of sense. But yes, just sticking it down there. And this is the next half of the page. So this says damaged, because the next lyric is damaged oddity. And it's just kind of like, you know when you stamp something and it says fragile, like on a parcel or something. And I did it in like big red font to match the knot on the other side. I mean, I was aiming for cohesion. There was thought put behind this. It just wasn't executed particularly well. The mechanism for this part of the page was basically the same as the knot psychology bit, but instead of having the fold at the top, it's in the middle, so that you just fold the bottom half up and it's completed at the top and the bottom. It's difficult to explain. Anyway, this is the picture that will be stuck underneath it. So this is for the word oddity, and it's like in kind of like Victorian freak shows where they'd have something in a jar, like an ear or, I don't know, something. And it's the head of the Melanie Martinez character. This is a crystal ball for a completely different part of the design. I was just outlining random stuff at this point because I was doing it more systematically than bit by bit, so it's more difficult to kind of explain. But yeah, this is a selfish man. We'll get back to him later. This makes literally no sense to people who don't know the song, but all will be revealed later when I do the final like flip through long playing It might copyright me. I don't care. I'm not making money off of this. It doesn't really have any right to sue me. So, right, back to the colouring bit. This is the jar from just now, and I did manage to get out the correct shade of pink this time, and I shaded it a bit too. I like how blendy my alcohol markers are, and I made the hair kind of blendy green and blue as well. I used brown and the same pink and purple colours as in the face for the lid to cohesion it a little bit more. I then went and black painted all around it so it blended in with the background. The next lyric is bought by Sotheby's. What is Sotheby's even? I have no idea. It's probably an American thing. I looked it up and it's like an American, maybe it's not American, I don't know. I'd never heard of it, but it's like an auction brand, or I don't know, they sell houses or something. It's random, but I looked up what their logo is and it's kind of this. It's greener. The blue that I've got there is greener in real life, and I'm pretty sure the logo's greener as well. I don't know. I used paint and pencil for this bit instead of the markers because it's double-sided and I didn't want it bleeding through and ruining it. The idea with that bit is that it's just a little slip that's tucked underneath the damaged oddity bit, and you pull it out and flip it over when you're playing the song. The next bit didn't have any interactive mechanisms to it, it was just stuck straight down. I also took the opportunity to stick down the other previous bits on the page. And this bit is a picture of a gavel, I think they're called, and the lyric is auctioned to a. I used the same colour scheme as before, and I had this vision of having it like sort of swing down like they do in an actual auction to reveal the lyrics, but there's not really any way I could have done that because like I can't, like I can fold, I can flip up and down, but side to side is kind of impossible for a sketchbook mechanism. I then got the alcohol markers back out and started colouring our selfish man. Who is he? No one knows, but he's selfish. And I just drew him how I thought a typical selfish man would look. I also put grey in the background of this. I was going to leave it white, but then I thought it looked kind of spare and stupid. And as always, we're putting in the black background. Can someone think of a name for the selfish man? Because he's selfish, but I think he still needs a name, so just let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. Also, what do we think of lyric books then? I think they're cool to watch. I was very inspired by it, but I had fun doing this. I don't think I'll do it again in a hurry though, because it was very time consuming and the outcome was kind of underwhelming at the end. Anyway, I also painted this thing black because I wasn't gonna individually cut out every single letter. That would have taken even longer, so this was the quicker option. It was now time to stick down the previous components. This needed chopping. Earlier I'd stuck it together, but it needs to be stuck down now, and the white bits were overlapping a bit. I also needed to figure out the mechanism by which the Sotheby's would slip in. And I stuck the selfish man down as well, and he needed to have the bottom half painted black so that the crystal ball could like stick in underneath it and it would be like the halfway flap thing that I did earlier. The next lyric is who thinks that he's the prophecy. So for prophecy I picked a crystal ball because that's kind of like the general symbolism for that. And as I did before, I just used the same colours to keep it cohesive. I stuck that down and finished the rest of the lyrics around it with white Tipex, and prepare to be amazed by the final thing with the backing track. Enjoy.
It's nymphology, not psychology. Even when it gets you dream, girl, what you fucking ought to be. That Miss Oddity, bought by Sotheby's. Auction to a selfish man who thinks that he's the prophecy.
So that was pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had fun making this, but like I said, I wouldn't do it again. It takes too long and the results kind of underwhelming. Check out some other Melanie Martinez lyric books because they're actually really cool, a lot cooler than mine. Mine's kind of stupid. But if you enjoyed, maybe leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.